morning. You can probably hear the nature. It's my little tui call. Right, we've got up in the tree here we had a little moorpork. It's quite loud too last night, but couldn't really hear it inside the little cabin. But yeah, you're surrounded by nature here. So it's the start of a new day. So going for a train ride today. Might show you some breakfast, but you might be sick of watching us showing our food and whatever. See how we go. See who's looking at us and staring. But yeah, go for a train ride and we'll show you a bit of that today. Sure. Just down at the Weka. Is it Weka? Weta. Oh, it's Weta. It's a little calf. See how we go. See what they taste like. And they're pretty good paws up.
Yummy, thank you.
What did you say?
The bread's yummy too. It's nice. Crispy.
Chibito or tobacco. Samuel James Reserve, 1929. So it's a little reserve. It's a Pet Lab Family Coromandel Family Health Clinic. So they have a hospital here too. So you got Jack's Cafe and Bar just down the road there, and you got Pepper Tree just across the road from the Weta. So we parked around the back of the Weta, and you can park at the front main street if you want. It's not a bad little town. It's got a fish and dive hunt shop there just across the road. Notice it's got a couple of stores there like have knickknacks. There's a few actually. And I sort of tuned my eyes in on. Come through here. It's a little archway. This is the reserve, that Samuel Reserve. That brings you through to the information centre. I noticed that a few tourists will come and fill up their water bottles sitting at the Weta there. Out of the fountain over there.
No, it's not working.
But then you've got across the road on this parking lot, got the Coromandel community pool. So it looks like not quite an Olympic sized pool, but say it'd be a half of one. There's a little kiddie paddling pool as well. So we'll see. We'll head off and we'll hang on. Go across the road there and have a look at this nice intricate sort of carving on the wall of the Coromandel pool. Get a closer view of it as well. Looks like it's in good enough water. Oh no, it's got a bit of dirt in there. I don't know if they use it or not. It's pretty dirty. Yeah, this thing. It's actually made of stone. Pottery, maybe. Yeah, because I think it's Barry. We're going on that railroad thing today, and I think Barry, he was the one that did he had a pottery business, or clay, because that's why he bought here. He bought heaps of acres of land, and it had clay in it, high content. So he had a pottery or clay business or something. Yeah, so that's how he made his money. Here the pool's a bit dirty. Give it a clean, man. Gee, guys. Alright, see, gotta walk up this big hill. To get up to the railway thing. Already puffing. Shit. Is it? Driving Creek Pottery. Right on there.
Side you want to sit on?
Yeah.
Side you want to sit on?
Any side. Sit down pottery.
Yeah.
Business. Seating room.
The first and most important one, which is on this symbol also painted inside the roof of your train, is please don't lean out when the train is moving. Don't have elbows, cameras, heads, anything out, because we get really close to our tunnels and steel bridge. And before we even leave the station, passenger train called Blitz. Do note just next to me on the right, and as we go past how close we are to that kiln. That brickwork there, that's just the first example of why we need to keep everything safely inside while the train is in motion. Just here on our right you'll see a little passenger train that's called Possum. That takes our zip line tours. You may see some people up there. I'm not sure if anyone's flying down through the forest just at the moment. But we will see our other passenger train the same size as this. It's called Snake. It's coming down the hill as we go up. And here in the workshop, that's Barry Brickle's favourite train, Elephant. You can see it was built in 1979. We restored Elephant just last year, had a complete upgrade and an overhaul, and Elephant is still used a lot for our working and maintenance, taking wagons of materials up and down the track. And speaking of track, we have 2.5 kilometres of that from our station up to the tower we're heading to today. Keep an eye out around the track for lots of artwork, lots of pottery. Everyone who works here as a potter leaves something behind, including Barry Brickle will show you some of his work. We have 10 bridges on this journey. This is our first and longest one, the number one viaduct, 43.5 metres long. Pretty amazing engineering structures on this little train trip. We also have 3 tunnels and 5 of those reversing points or switchbacks that I mentioned. And very quickly you'll see how those work when we get to the first one in a couple of minutes. Links leaving Baychard station limits. And we're also travelling through a beautiful native forest on today's trip. And that forest is only here thanks to Barry Brickle and his friends and volunteers who planted 20,000 native trees and shrubs on this land. It was farmland when Barry bought it in 1973. An amazing amount of work and a very fantastic result. our second bridge here, entering our lower spiral, one of only two spiral or loop sections of track, crossing over Copeland's Creek below us here. And above us, you've probably already spotted some of our zipline wires and platforms. If I see anyone flying off any of those, I'll give you a heads up. When we come around this big sweeping curve back across Copeland's Creek as we make our way up the hill. And a very pretty view of the clear stream and the forests here. It does make it look like it's been like this forever, but it's a very young forest. It's less than 50 years old. Shows you what a bit of effort can achieve. And just coming up on our right here, this is one of Barry Brickell's original clay pits on my right on the uphill side. We keep that open so you can see that soft yellow clay he was digging up in its natural state. It's a terracotta clay, which means when it's applied in the kiln it changes colour to become a brick or orangey red colour, and at extreme temperatures it can actually become much darker than that. We no longer dig up clay from beside the tracks here, we still take some of that material down near the office building. As well as artwork, Barry also made thousands of bricks from that clay, and you'll see a lot of those on today's trip too. Coming up through this area, if you look up and around us, you will see some bigger trees. Those are Californian pine trees. They were the only big trees here when Barry bought the property in 1973. We're using a couple of them for our zipline platforms, as you may have spotted. We're coming up to our first reversing point here. This one is called Ravington Station. Barry built the lines up to this point by 1982, and back then it was just his private railway. The railway was not constructed for tourism. Barry just built it for his own pleasure. It was just a gigantic hobby in the early days. In 1990, Barry applied for a license to turn it into what we run today as Driving Creek Railways. So I'm going to go and drive from the other end for a bit. It's only 200 metres till the next reversing point in this case. So Barry got the idea for these reversing points, which are really the only way he could find to climb up the steep land. And all those in central Peru, it used them to climb up the Andes Mountains, which are very steep. There simply wasn't enough room to go up in one continuous line of track. We've gone on to neighbouring properties. And our second reversing point just here is named after the people farming here who sold the land to Barry, the Chipman family. They've been farming here for several generations. Local yellow clay we saw earlier. Please keep everything safely inside the train as we go through. And on our right, on the uphill side of the train, I can show you some Barry Brickell artwork. Just here next to me right now, a pair of dragon-like creatures down there in the grass. Those are his versions of taniwha, mythical New Zealand water creatures or waterway guardians. And Barry named the little tunnel ahead of us the taniwha tunnel. Once again, keep everything safely inside as we go through. And next we come to our double-deck steel railway bridge, which was the most complicated part of Barry's construction work. This bridge was started in 1988, but it took Barry 2 years to build. We get very close to the steel frame here. Please keep everything safely inside. It was while building this bridge Barry decided to apply for a licence. That was granted in October 1990 so he could take passengers from that point on. And the area we've come into now is called Crown Flat. This is where our zipline tours begin. The top platform's just here on my right. There are 8 platforms on that zipline journey down. That's where it starts, just there, and there's thousands of bottles, as you can see next to me here, used as retaining walls. Very effective and pretty way to hold up the soft clay banks. You'll see a lot more of those on our journey uphill as well. So this tight curve, the second of our 2 spiral sections, brings us around onto the top deck. And on the other side of the bridge we come to our halfway point, which we call Mai, which means come back in the Maori language. That's where our passenger trains can pass each other as we have a double track section. So you'll see the other train Snake coming down through here in just a couple of minutes. And you'll see the views get better and better as we get out into the open when we get higher up. Mai was completed in 1991. Back then it was the end of the journey. Today, as I mentioned, it's only the halfway point. There's a lot of artwork to admire here as well as a lot more bottles. We have to wait here until the other train gets here. It's the only place they can pass. Well, while here, you'll notice there's a lot more of Barry's bricks and bottles, and if you have a look at the wall up ahead of us of glass bottles going around that curve, you may be able to see there's letters written into it, and you'll see that as we go past. They used clear glass bottles to write their names in it. The 2 guys who built the wall, it says Ron's and Barry's. That was Barry Brickle and his friend Ron who built that wall in 1991. And it's just about to pop into view any moment now. So here's Snake coming towards us. Thank you, man. Hello. Hey.
Next missing from the station apart. You might make the base links with us. This is nothing.
Our journeys today are much more pleasant now. We're surrounded by a wonderful native New Zealand forest. As I mentioned before, we're still very young, but many of these New Zealand tree species have very long lives, and they're sometimes considered to be very slow growing. But emu trees, R-I-M-U, like the ones just here on my right, the ones with the really droopy, shaggy leaves, they can live to be over 1,000 years old. And they're all less than 50 years old here. But the longest lived trees in New Zealand are the kauri trees, K-A-U-R-I. We know they can live to be well over 2,000 years old and become some of the biggest trees in the world. The hills around here and further north in New Zealand were once covered in forests dominated by giant kauri trees. They were all logged out in the late 1800s and early 1900s, and Barry Brickell was very disappointed when he discovered there were none near the town of Coromandel, or almost nothing people could even see. So that's what inspired him to replant this forest and keep it here for future generations. But not only did Barry regenerate this forest, he also protected it under the law so it cannot be cut down. And we have a team of ecologists that look after the forest, removing weeds and killing pests like rats, stoats and possums. Anyone notices those big dead trees over on our right across the other side of the creek? Those are Californian pine trees, and they are not dying of a disease. They've been deliberately killed so that they are taken away and no longer dominate and spread through the native New Zealand forest. We want this forest to be free of other trees and other species that could kill or swamp some of our native plants. It gives all of our native creatures like birds, lizards, insects and even rare native frogs the opportunity to return and thrive in this forest. So we're coming up to our third reversing point here. Barry called this one Cascade. He named it after a waterfall down in the creek below us. That's the same creek we crossed earlier, Copeland Creek. There's another good example of Barry Brickell artwork here at Cascade. Just coming up on my right out here, you'll see a big twisted terracotta pot with lichen growing on it. That was made by Barry Brickell. He was well known for making such large, quirky pieces of art.
To the back and he does a reversing point. Then we get back up the hill, that's how we get up the elevation easy. Instead of going around and around and around, he saved himself lots of trip doing that. Yeah, pretty well. Ingenious man, he started at 42 years of age. Holy shit. See the switch goes.
So we keep climbing, quite a bit of steep climbing yet to go, which is why there are two more reversing points like this ahead of us. At one stage, Barry wasn't sure it was even possible to take his rails all the way up to the top of his property. But he found a way,
To the
and that's why we get to enjoy it today.
Can't put your arms
Our next
out.
reversing station
Like
is
in a
the protection
chopped
is
off.
called Coromandel, which is the name of a native New Zealand shrub. Barry had a problem feeling that it was short over here. He often came up to work with each drive on his own. We also have our third and longest tunnel coming up on the right. So in just a moment we'll go the other way and go through that tunnel just there. It's beautifully decorated with a lot of terracotta artwork. We're going to make a very quick stop there so you can have a quick look at that and take a couple of photos. We're going to spend most of our time up at the viewing deck at the tower. The train as we go through the tunnel. When we stop on the other side, I will come and open all the doors for you. Please mind your heads as you exit. And we're not allowed to walk into the tunnel. We must remain on the other side of it. Thank you.
Down by the swimming pool that I showed you. Told you, Barry would have done it. just allowed us to get out off the train to have a look at the tunnel closer. There's your seats and stuff. It's about 100 meters up. I'll show you the top of it. I'm running out of thing to get more footage, so I'm going to have to cut it out. You have to come visit it yourself. But we'll show you little snippets and probably put the longer one up.
One more reversing station as well. This last one coming up is called Fiona, which means 5 in the Maori language. Our train's going to go out on the deck here, right out over the forest. Great starting point for a roller coaster. The tower building itself was officially opened in October 2003.
They come if you're afraid of heights. Just reached the top at the Eiffel Tower. Just going to get out for a little bit and then we'll have a little walk around. have seen it on there, but I almost fucking broke my fucking ankle. Yummy. Still making stuff. Shop down there you can't get to. Still got some artwork and stuff. There's the old comb there. It's a good video you can watch before the trip. It's a bit flickery on the screen, I can see the old pottery work.
2 kilometres of potteries and 40 metres of colour. It took Barry 20 years to get this far.
$20 to get it halfway. It's 42 when you start it.
Shop in there.
Souvenir shop. It's got flicker in there, girl.
Get ice cream.
It's bloody hot here. There's heaps of like, if you don't look properly, so just in this wall here, got like whatever that is. You got these little things up here. Just in little areas, even the gate itself is like he must have been quite an artist. So that's solid steel. And he's got this sort of artwork around town, as I showed you before. It's like got like, is it the Eye of Ra? It's even got fans. Like this steel and bolts and stuff. Into the kitchen to fill up some water. Just put a track down there. See the brick got the old lichen growing on it. Whatever. Go across the bridge. Hear the sound of it there. Up to the communal kitchen. So you got your refrigerator, you open it, so it's got some heaters in it. Fill up your filtered water. Got your gas burning, stove, must be electric but gas, extracted fan, toaster, nice little artwork, one of those heater things. A little cabin off there, good little area if you wanted to come with a family. Got little vine things to pull down when it comes to night time. See if we can mosquitoes. Good. Oops, shit, someone saw me. Not. Lovely little bouquet of flowers. That's actually real, not plastico. We'll walk back up that way. Pretty good place. Thank you.
Would be pretty cool.
Didn't have the outdoor bath, but it's got everything else that you would have wanted from a little getaway. And you're back to home again. Did you like that little excursion? I think you did. Oh well. Probably show you the fish and chips, top 10 fish and chip shop or something like that. See you there. At Longbank Reserve, this is where the food places that they recommend is really good, so we'll go get a munch there. Here's your burgers. What was it? One was like a hash brown breakfast type one. The other one was like an Angus beef, 120 grand. Here's your hot dog. It's almost too hard for the thing. No, not get close. Holy shit. Yeah, it's alright. Just a good sausage on the stick. Yeah. We've had this fella join us for lunch. You want it? Hmm? Hungry? Alright. Good. Don't want to feed you because then you'll tell all your mates and then there'll be a pest. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. Fiona's going to try the Angus beef burger. With a little makeshift knife. There it is. So it would have tomato in it, beetroot, onion, and the Angus beef patty, celery. Yummy.
Yummy.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's like a generic one you get from the supermarket. So much for Angus beef, sorry. I don't know what the face of it is, so I won't even bother trying to. It's alright. If you're really hungry, it's alright. Down there, it's the shittiest road you'd ever come across. It's like something you'd probably get in the Sounds, eh? This is sort of like getting over these rough terrains and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a beautiful walk here. There's like walking tracks. Come up, what's the Creek Road? It's Kennedy. It's Driving Creek Road and it goes into Kennedy Bay Road. And then you've got these, you'll see these statues on the way up. It's a bloody hideous ride. Come up the hill and you can go up this walk. It's only 15 minutes walk to go to another lookout, just looking over the other side there. Because you got, it's like you're on the peninsula of both sides. It's worth it. Just bit injured, so I can't go. Fuck it. Anyway, that's pretty much our trip, folks. I'm running out of data. I didn't bring a big enough memory card, so that's about it. Cheers. Rightio, folks. That's us. We're off, leaving the Coromandel today and heading back to the Bay of Plenty. Yeah, it's going to have a few little memories for me and Fiona. Highly recommend going to the railway, maybe from Barry. Has a brilliant story. I'll let you go and visit that and won't spoil it for you. But delve into it a little bit. You'll see that it's a beautiful place. People were kind and quite hospitable, and then you also got many bays. You could just keep on going and going. There's a bit of dirt roads though that we didn't really know about, going off the beating track. It's not really, it's like Tarsio and going off on thinking that it's a main highway, but it was actually a road, a dirt road to nowhere. So we ended up giving up on one of the dirt roads. So you had enough of them, quite windy, and you could fall off the cliff and never be seen again. But other than that, highly recommend. We'll be back. Full grown pickle. I'll zoom in on it post. It's an interesting tree. I'll show you an interesting one on the way home. See the pickle top there. Thought we'd come into the mining museum. The old rough model mine propped head. Sheesh. We'll just give a quick look through here.
Whereabouts are you folks from? Holiday. Oh, Carrow. Yeah. Oh, way over there. Yeah. Visit this weekend anyway. That's beautiful. We just stayed at Hush Boutique. Sorry? We just stayed at the Hush Boutique. Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, is that like sort of opposite? Is it opposite down? Oh, up where the train is?
Yeah. Yes, and we went on that yesterday. That was awesome.
Oh, good. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And if you've got somebody telling the story about the whole thing, it's really interesting too.
Yeah.
That's 10, 20, 25, 13.
See the old
35, 40, 50. That's right.
it's like an analyzer thing, analysing the gold.
Have you got any connection with Coromandel, or are you just visiting?
No, my work gave me I won a mystery weekend and asked if they could send me to Coromandel, me and my partner. So yeah, we just wanted to come over and arrange. Yeah, for the weekend arrange.
What do you think about the drive up the coast?
It's beautiful.
It is lovely.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Yeah. This was originally built as a school to teach guys at the mining. It was called the School of Mines. It still is actually. Then a museum and it's taken it over. And we've got another, it's all to do with people with the, you know, there's another
Old organ. Probably have a chat to the lady and say that we have got a bit of a tie here because my Dad's uncle used to live here, so a little chat to her about it. We got all the old pictures. I'm going to stop the camera and actually watch and have a look at the items myself. I've dug up some old mouldy artifacts. But I'll give you a little squiz. These are all your tools. You know what that is. Symbolism. It's probably decent sized, eh? This is the old jailhouse. Gotta have a look at this. Bro, you want to get let out? Hey? Just looks like you've been in there a while. So you got the old double door with a little hatch in the door. See, they lift the pin. Oh, can't pull that, that's right. Oh no, there we go. Pull the pin and it'll drop down. Hello. Peephole. I'll just put that back. Needed 2 hands for that. Back on. That officer. Oh, that's quite a cool clock, eh? You got the other cell there, an old bike. Yeah, you guys remember those, don't you? Okay. Yeah. cool. Come to the museum, it's worth it. The little what would this be? Gazebo type thing.
Where they did the cream butter and that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it never produced any gold. This place here, this one here, is the one I'm telling you. That's in the top 10. That's the office of the top 10 camping ground.
Oh,
now.
yeah,
That
yeah.
one there. And here it is with the top. It had that top one, that's been taken
Oh,
off.
yeah.
And it belongs to the camping ground. The digger trying to move it and never weren't able to move it. But the surrounds of the poppet head, inside that big thing there was a concrete portal, I don't know, like that, and that's where the cage was attached, and it went down into the ground, some 80 something, I don't know, it was a metre or something, might be feet, I don't know. And on the side of the hill was an exit that they used to use on a Friday. Instead of the cage coming right to the top, they'd come halfway out, up and let the men out there. That was sort of like I suppose a safety thing or something, but it was still working in 1957. Some of the older people here, but we bought the land in 1980. So, yeah.
Nice.
All that was left was the wheels and the paddock. Yeah, bit of history, but
That's cool, ain't it? So we're having a little look at the minerals that they found in Coromandel town. Coromandel, the town itself. And it was I'll show the list on the thing below. Oh. Oh. Anyway, I'm going to stop that there, and you fellas can come visit it yourself and have a little squiz, just a quick little view of it. Here's this tree that I seen on the way here. It's like fallen, but it's caught by its own branches, and it's like it's being held. You can come around to this front of it. Look at that. Holy shit, have you seen anything like that? Bet you haven't seen anything like that. Now this place is called Tapu. If that means sacred, that's got to be a sacred tree.